The Director of Public Health, Bashir Boy Kikimoto, says he's not convinced by the results of tests run by Noguchi on samples taken from birds in Accra and Tema, confirming the presence of bird flu in the country. Dr. Kikimoto says his outfit is working to contain the situation, but says he'll be more convinced if the confirmation comes from the Food and Agriculture Organization in Italy.
We are dealing with an avian influenza.
Okay.
But we are not sure that it is the H5N1, but every avian influenza, once you suspect that one, you have to go straight away and start doing the interventions. And these are the interventions we are doing. Because we also spread from fowls to humans, the medical team also came to test the human beings here who have participated. So what we have done so far is that we have made sure that all the affected birds are killed. So far, I can say over 23, around 23. Noguchi is a collaborative lab with veterinary services. Veterinary services does not report a disease when Noguchi brings it to us. Even Noguchi has got that, they have not brought that one to us because we don't report according to what Noguchi brings to us. We report to what Italy brings. And Noguchi will get in touch with us. But even Noguchi gets in touch with us, we will still have to wait for where our reference laboratory in Italy. Let me tell you, when Noguchi can do, we can also do in a lab. We have also done something when Noguchi has done. But what we do is that we have a reference on this. So that's only that place. Yes, that's the only place that it can confirm.
Well, the director, Dr. Kikimoto, says his outfit will do all it can to prevent an outbreak of the deadly avian influenza disease, popularly called bird flu. Now, some 5 birds have tested positive so far as the virus, and Ghanaians are on high alert following the announcement of the presence of the H5N1 virus in some birds in the nation's capital, Accra. But Dr. Kikimoto says that the veterinary services is on top of issues and will combat the deadly virus. He was speaking on our current affairs program, PM Express. Well, we'll bring you much more on that later. But the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research has confirmed the presence of a strain of bird flu in Ghana. Virologists at the institute say tests run on samples from birds from 2 farms in Tema and Achimota turned out positive for H5N1. The samples were received 2 weeks ago from the veterinary services. A research fellow at the Department of Virology at Noguchi, Dr. Kofi Odum, however, says there's no cause for alarm, but adds that those who handle the birds must also be tested, as bird flu can be transmitted to humans.
Well, we received samples from the veterinary services. According to them, the samples were from 2 farms and were to test them for bird flu. We ran the test, and 5 out of 6 of the samples confirmed that yes, there is bird flu in the country.
And you received these samples when?
We got them on Friday, 15th of May, and by afternoon we have finished testing, and then the results was given out.
Is it clear which farms the birds, like the 5 tested positive, came from? Is it clear, or it's not clear?
In fact, we're told the samples were from 2 farms, but as for the distribution, we're not told. So I can't confirm whether we have 2, 4, 3, I'm not sure. But all I know is we received 6 samples from 2 farms, and out of this is 5 tested positive for bird flu.
And you mentioned that this tested positive for H5N1, which is different from H1N1. Can you explain that bit for us?
Yes, the bird flu, normally when we say bird flu, we are talking about the strain which is H5N1. It can also infect humans, but this comes from birds. The one we tested previously, that was the pandemic in 2009. From humans, that was H1N1. But this bird flu is H5N1. It's coming from birds, but can be transmitted to humans as well. Yes, we should be worried in the sense that if these are coming from 2 farms, we don't know what is happening elsewhere in the farms, more especially the handlers, those in the farms. So we need to test these people to make sure that the virus has not been transmitted to humans, because if it passes from animal to humans, and then the transmission in turn becomes human to human, then becomes more worrisome. Let's to make sure that they are also not infected.
Is that what's going to happen next? Are you going to contact them and then get them their samples?
Yes, my boss will liaise with the veterinary services, and the decision will come from there. The best way to prevent further spreading is to kill all of them. There are biosecurity measures that has to be in place when we are dealing with these farms, especially animals that can be infected with this virus. Basic hygiene, making sure that you clean yourself, protect yourself when you are dealing with the animals, and then when you finish coming out, you disinfect yourself, making sure you don't use the same clothing that you use to handle the animals back home. So putting barriers between you and then humans and then the animals to ensure that even if they are infected, the handlers will not be infected as well.
Poultry farmers who suspect that their birds may have caught the flu, what should they do? Who should they contact, just for the avoidance of any doubt?
Yes, they should contact the veterinary officers if there are some around them. If not, they should look for the nearest one, then contact them if they see signs that they are not familiar with, like the bird will stand here and then be falling asleep, or you find some lesions around the head, or maybe even the feet, or the bird will stand here and it becomes like fluffy. You need to report to the veterinary services so that they come and examine the birds and tell you what to do next, because you may not know whether these birds are infected or not. So samples can be taken and then the birds will be tested for the farmers to ensure that the birds are healthy and they themselves are also.
Meanwhile, poultry farmers are asking government to do more to protect the country's borders so more cases of bird flu do not come in. They fear the confirmation of the presence of the virus in the country could cripple their businesses. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo visited some poultry farms here in Accra following the confirmation by Noguchi.
This is the farm of Dominic Bawole, a retired teacher. He's been rearing chicken here for the last 2 years. He's been selling off a lot of his stock, and at the moment he has about 200 fowl that he's been raising here on the farm. Let's speak to him about the situation for you as someone who is into poultry. Yeah. This concern about the outbreak of bird flu, are you worried?
Why not? I should be worried because I'm having just some 200, 300, but there are farmers who have about 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. And if the disease comes and it wipes all this off, that is a hell of money. So I should be concerned. Because I don't know, maybe one day I'll choose to go into full scale also, and it might also affect me. So I'm concerned.
My name is Yusuf Amir. Yeah.
You have about 800 birds on this farm. Are there any measures you've been taking to prevent the outbreak of the disease on your farm?
Yes, please. I have been taking a lot of measures. I occasionally disinfect the whole pen and make sure nobody brings his birds here and nobody comes here unofficially without my permission. Yeah.
Have you gotten any kind of education at all on how to avoid any possible outbreak on your farm? Yes,
I have pre-knowledge of how to disinfect the pens and prevent such diseases from entering your farm. And moreover, the veterinary has been here to educate me more on how to prevent such things from happening. Yeah.
The fact that the Agric Ministry says there's been an outbreak here in Ghana, and they mention Achimota to be specific as one of the areas, does that strike any fear in you?
In fact, I'm unaware about the Achimota issue, but wow, now I'm very scared. Now I'm very scared. But anyway, I'll still take a lot of measures to stop it from entering my farm. It's not here yet. Yes, but I'll take a lot of measures not to allow it here. Yeah.
Are you concerned when the outbreak becomes even more extended, then it may end up affecting the kind of profits that you earn from this business of yours?
Yeah. I'm very scared actually, and because when you have your birds affected, nobody will want to patronize your birds anymore. People will go elsewhere to buy. In fact, when a disease like this enters into a country, a lot of people go off poultry, and in that case, a lot of poultry farmers are affected. So, in fact, I'm really scared. I'm really scared.
Is there any expectation you have of government in terms of helping safeguard your business?
Yes, government should really protect our borders. In fact, those people guarding our borders should be very, very vigilant and stop people who are importing in all those foreign bears. Because it wasn't in our country earlier, but it is, which means our borders are weak. So government should make stringent measures to stop the importation of such bears. Yeah.
Rabies is a disease caused primarily by dogs. Now, countries the world over have put the disease under control, but same cannot be said of Ghana. Now, every year, about 50 people die from this disease, a situation that has been described as worrying by the Director of Public Health at the Veterinary Services. Dr. Bashir Boy Kikimoto is asking owners of dogs to vaccinate their dogs to prevent the spread of the rabies disease. He was speaking on Current Affairs program PM Express.
As the country director for Global Alliance for Rabies Control, I know that no single Ghanaian is supposed to die of rabies. Rabies is 100% preventable. It's a 100% preventable disease. But we still have so many cases of rabies, dog bite cases, and positive cases, and human deaths. Last year in particular, in Ashanti region, we lost 24 people only out of rabies.
Wow.
This year, before this, as I'm talking to you, I've already lost about 3 people. The 4th one, we are still waiting for this thing. And Upper West, Upper East, if I tell you the statistics of human deaths last year alone, let alone to talk about the dog rabies, that's dogs that are actually sick of rabies, I'm telling you, it is alarming. But today, it's just a teaser. I think we need to find time, calm, look at the rabies situation in Ghana. I was surprised as the acting director of public health and the head of public health. Last week, somebody went to Rich Hospital because he was bitten by a dog. He was giving immunoglobulins. And those ones, you normally give them at very, very serious situations. You need to give the rabies. And could you imagine that the immunoglobulins alone is about 400 Ghana cedis? So is the rabies disease to kill poor people or what?
Wow.
These are some of the things that, with time, we need to put our heads together as a country and say, no, rabies is such a disease that a lot of children die every 10 minutes. A child dies. So why do we have to allow this thing to be happening?
So the best way is to vaccinate the dogs. The dogs.
And when you are bitten immediately, report to the vet. The vet will give you a Form A. You go to the nearest hospital. Then they will give you the first aid, tetanus and other things. Then later you come while we quarantine the dog and make sure that it is free from rabies.
We're taking a break here on News Desk. We'll return shortly with someone. Stay with us.